Welcome to this week's Monday Minutes. My name is Kelly.
And my name is Jessie, and this week we have a wonderful guest with us, Evelyn. Hey,
Hello.
Evelyn. Evelyn is joining Kelly and I today to talk to you just a little bit about security and measures that you can take at your library to make sure that your patron data is safe. Evelyn handles a lot of the systems administration things here at ByWater Solutions, and we thought this would be a great opportunity to let her talk to you about some tips that you can do to keep your patron data safe.
Yeah, and specifically, we've had some questions really recently from partners about things like, should I and can I keep driver's license numbers? Can I keep other state ID identification numbers, passport numbers, social security numbers in my patron records in Quoha? And the answer is technically yes, but it's probably not a great idea. So these things are called PII. This is personally identifiable information. And the reason that we want to be very careful when we hang on to things like this is these are really high value for bad guys. If I'm a bad guy and I get a hold of a driver's license number, for example, that makes it that much easier for me to do things like steal your identity. So we want to make that as hard as possible. And so just thinking about what we're keeping in our patron records, how visible those patron records are for everybody that's working at the library. And also if I'm logged in at your library, I'm sitting at the computer, checking out, maybe I'm making sure that I've paid off all my fees. If someone is sitting behind me, looking over my shoulder, what can they see? So it's that sort of thing. It's good to be aware.
Absolutely, Evelyn, and you did give us some information before we started recording about if there was a need to store some of this PI, your recommendation would be to be in more of the paper form, locked in a cabinet versus being in the Koha system. Is that correct?
Definitely. If your library has a very specific policy that says, no, we absolutely do have to have this information, we recommend it's probably going to be better for you to keep that on paper, keep that in a locked cabinet, inside a locked office, maybe in another locked building. We want to really be, especially now, everybody sees every day, all these things that the bad guys can get up to with our information. So we want to make it as difficult as possible for them. And it's hard to get into a locked building when people are looking, rather than just looking over my shoulder when I'm logging into something.
Evelyn, can you tell us or tell our listeners, what are we doing at ByWater Solutions to keep our partners safe and their data safe?
Definitely. So it's a big long list and would be here quite a while if I went through all of it. But we do take the protection of this data very, very seriously. It is your patron data. We don't want that going anywhere. We do have access controls in place. We do have, we encrypt everything at rest in those databases. You can go to the website to see the full privacy policy there, or send us a ticket. We'll be happy to give you the full layout. But because we have seen a lot more movement, especially from a US perspective, we've seen a lot of executive orders come down. We need to, make sure that our security is still modern and keeping up with the times. And so this is kind of extending that out to make sure that everybody out there is aware too.
This is great, Evelyn. Thank you. It's our concern here is to make sure that our partners are safe, their data is safe, and our systems team, Evelyn, Liz, Jessie, Kendra, are all working around the clock to make sure that everything is taken care of. So as always, if you have questions about privacy or security, you can submit a ticket. We'll link to the privacy policy in the blog post so you can access that information online as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Evelyn. This was really helpful, and I think it's a great food for thought for libraries out there.
If anybody has any questions about should I be keeping this, or maybe even ideas, suggestions for other ways to keep this sort of very sensitive information, go ahead and just take it, and we'll be happy to talk it out with you.
Perfect.
Or even share privacy policies that they've written for their staff. Maybe that would be interesting to see, like in the Slack channel, or share what they're doing for their libraries, so other libraries can get an idea.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that collaboration. Okay, well, have a great week.
Have a great week. Thanks, Evelyn.
Thanks, Evelyn.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.